alright? I just want to talk about how fucking depressing it is watching the far right become more popular and influential. You know, I never thought I'd see the day when Britain could actually become a fascist state. I always thought Britain was too good for that. I never thought we'd see the likes of Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage with popularity, you know. Britain fought against fascism in World War II. We fought against Hitler and the Nazis. And it's awful to think that we could actually become a fascist country from within, you know, without an invasion. Hitler didn't have to invade because we've got fascists right here in Britain trying to take over the state, trying to make Britain a fascist country. All those soldiers who died in World War II fighting fascism, their lives were squandered, wasted, thrown away if we become a fascist state. Look, Nigel Farage isn't a fascist, but he's not far off. He's a right-wing populist, and right-wing populism exists to take us closer to fascism. It's like a hybrid between liberalism and fascism, or conservatism and fascism. It's a stepping stone. Tommy Robinson is a fascist. He is a Nazi, and he wants power. Him and Farage don't get on because he sees Farage as too soft. Farage isn't fascist enough for Tommy Robinson. But if someone like Tommy Robinson got to power in this country with a fascist movement behind him, a movement of thugs willing to kill people just for their appearance or their sexuality or their political beliefs, then we're fucked, man. This country is fucked. Forever after that, this country will be fucked. Germany has never escaped the fascist tag, even though it's not fascist anymore. People still see Germany as a backward country because of the fascist tag, because of how fascism warped Germany. It hasn't been fascist since fucking the end of World War II, but it still gets looked at as a fascist country. So for fucking decades after fascism, Britain will be seen as a backward fascist country. But never mind that. The horrors that will happen during the fascist period, the horrors that happened in Germany, should tell us what would happen in Britain. It would be horrendous. I mean, if you like freedom, forget all about that under fascism. Everything is taken away. Everything. In Germany, within 3 months, the political opposition was annihilated, so that only one party existed. The Labour Party in Germany, which was the biggest Labour Party in Europe, big powerful party, was wiped out, destroyed, and its headquarters was turned into the offices for the Nazi state newspaper, the only newspaper allowed to exist. Everything was taken away in Nazi Germany. Workers' rights were abolished. Women's rights were abolished. There was no freedom for anyone. Men could rape their wives in fascist Germany legally. Women were seen as nothing but servants of men. It was awful for women. It was awful for everyone. Music was abolished. A lot of music anyway. Obviously you had some music that was allowed, but anything that was seen as rebellious, like jazz or soul, rock and roll, you know, the early kind of evolutionary phases of rock and roll, abolished. Even the fucking Boy Scouts was abolished in Nazi Germany because it was collective. It had a network, and anything with a network had to be abolished. Books were burned. The left was violently crushed, because you can't have an opposition to fascism. You can't have an opposition. Anything that will oppose it, and the left fucking vehemently opposes fascism, it has to be wiped out. So there was no left. There was no opposition at all. You couldn't vote. Elections were banned. You couldn't protest, because protest was banned. If you protested against the fascist government, you were arrested and dealt with. Many people were executed or later sent to the death camps just for protesting. That would come to Britain. All of that would come to Britain. And you can forget about decent wages, because, hey, the only thing that gives us decent wages are trade unions. And there will be no trade unions. So the rich bosses will have all the power, along with the Nazi government. And they will work together to push wages down, to push working class living standards down. And poverty will rise. Forget about free healthcare. You'll have to pay. There'll be no NHS. And if you're fucking disabled, if you have any physical or mental health conditions, you're fucked. You'll be seen as faulted, as a burden on the state, and someone to get rid of. Hitler had disabled people exterminated. So that would come to Britain as well. If you've got an autistic child, or, you know, a physically disabled parent or brother, sister, whatever, they'd be gone. They'd be taken away from you and just fucking extinguished. So yeah, it's depressing, man, that fascism could actually happen in Britain. It's terrifying, man. Terrifying. So if you're giving any support to right-wing organisations like Reform UK or Advance, which is Tommy Robinson's shite, you're helping to bring about fascism in Britain, man. Britain is better than that. Don't fucking do it. I know Labour's shite, but the far right is a lot worse, far, far, far worse than Labour. I'll not be voting Labour if I can help it. I'll be voting for something more progressive, something more left-wing, like your party, or at the very least the Greens. If you didn't like Labour, vote to the left, not the right. Because if you're going right, then you're helping to make fascism a reality in your country. And believe you me, you do not want that. You do not want that. Whatever we disagree on, surely we can agree fascism is fucking bad for Britain. Surely. And we can at least unite against fascism, so that we never have fascism in Britain. For the sake of our kids and their kids, man, didn't let fascism happen here. Fucking vote to the left, not to the right. And don't repost anything from Farage, Tommy Robinson, Trump even, or any fucking right-wingers, because it's all leading to fascism. That's all I've got to say for now. See you in the next one. Solidarity.